Hi everyone, welcome to this week's reading, and this is for the 14th of November through to the 20th. I just want to mention last week was very interesting because the Five of Swords came up, and I knew when I saw that it was, talking about this tension, this conflict in the air, and it's very much, was what happened last week. And I just want to say, if, for those people, especially if you're in the USA with, the election and all that, there's a lot of people in fear at the moment, and I just want to say that, it's natural if, you have concerns and all that sort of thing, but not to sort of give into fears and try to raise your vibration to a state of trust. And I know it's easy, to say, but the reality is there have been many times, in my own life where because of things going on in society and in, things where I live and, to do with certain things, I don't want to specifically say, but I also have struggled with fears about, things going on in the world and all that type of thing. And I've always had to challenge myself to raise my thoughts up to a higher level, because what happens if you stay in that zone of fear, of, almost going into paranoid thoughts, or, really seriously worrying about something that hasn't even happened yet, it can really affect your life and the people around you and your own family, and the ripple effect. And I'm not saying it's easy to snap out of a negative or fearful mind state, but the thing is, you do have to work on this, and this is something that is a general thing for life. And some people find it easier than others, but I'm not saying put your head in the sand about issues, but definitely do not succumb to fear at this time, because it will just take a toll on your physical health, and it will basically energetically as well make you feel that you basically lose energy when you succumb to negative thoughts. So I just want to throw that out there for those people that are in a lot of fear at the moment. And also the other reason I'm saying that is because we're in a very deep transitional time, and I posted something on my Facebook page last week about the astrology with a long-term view about what's going on. If you haven't had a chance, check it out. I talk about Pluto and Capricorn, and Pluto went into Capricorn back in, I think it was 2008, and it will be there still for quite a number of years yet. But basically this is a time of deconstruction of the status quo, of deconstructing a lot of things globally and socially, and all those structures that came in the many years back, even going as far back as the industrial age, where life on the planet really started to change in a new direction. Well, we're going through another cycle now of really deconstructing a lot of these creations that are really not good for our earth and not good for our societies, and things that are based on greed, negativity, power, for power's sake, and not the power of the people. This is where this big shift is happening. And then by the time Pluto goes into Aquarius, which is around 2023, I think, if off memory, if that's correct, that's going to be a whole new paradigm shift, and we're going into a completely new phase of life on Earth. So, yes, things appear to get worse before they get better, and that's the phase that we're in now, and it's not an easy time to be alive on Earth. So I just wanted to say that. I understand, that people that are struggling, and I myself have struggled with, at times feeling like, the mainstream kind of views of society in some aspects, not in all aspects, but in some aspects, especially when it comes to political things, which I will rarely ever talk about, but because it's such a focus at the moment, things need to change. The society does need to change, but just want to say with the astrology, you can see at the moment you have Neptune conjunct the South Node, you have Neptune opposite the North Node. So Neptune in Pisces opposite the North Node in Virgo. So, those two things are very telling. It shows that there's a lot of illusion at the moment. There's a lot of things that seem a certain way, but it isn't clear. Things are not clear in terms of the direction that they're going in, if we're just looking at things on the surface level right now. There is a bigger kind of movement going on underneath the surface that is not visible, which is indicated by Pluto and Capricorn. So, Pluto is about deconstructing, and Capricorn is about the structures, the material level reality, So it's a very slow process because Pluto is a slow moving planet. And so this deconstruction process is going quite slow, but it is powerful, you know, and in 2020, I mentioned on my Facebook page, we'll have Jupiter, Saturn and Pluto all lined up in Capricorn, and that's really, really significant. 2020 is a year of really powerful change for the world. So, you know, this is just kind of, you know, what happened last week with the elections in the USA. It's just kind of, it is a turning point, but it's not what it seems, because it's this Neptune South node and the Neptune opposite the North node. Just another bit of the astrology. You know, we have Mercury in Sagittarius at the moment. It's just moved into Sagittarius just a few days ago, and also Mars has just moved into Aquarius. So these two energies, they're very much of the mind, of the higher sort of chakras, thinking a lot. There's a lot of thinking going on. With Mercury in Sagittarius, there can be a lot of people kind of blurting things out without thinking, because that's very much Mercury in Sag, and jumping to conclusions about situations that really haven't transpired yet. There can be a lot of people being a bit combative verbally and mentally. Also with Mars in Aquarius, you know, it's about ideologies and the thinking level, philosophies, you know, as well with Mercury in Sag. And it's about, you know, some tension and some difficulties with the way we think and the way that we see the bigger picture of life, you know. Also, Jupiter is coming to square Pluto this week as well. So that was building last week, and it's still building this week and next week, I think. So, you know, Jupiter is in Libra. Libra is about people, it's about relationships, and, you know, squaring with Pluto and Capricorn is, as I said before, it's the structures of society and the status quo, you know, people in authority. So there is a clash, you know, there is a difficult energy and a discomfort between people's ideals for their own lives and for their family and for society, you know, and justice as well. And these things clashing with the entrenched structures, and you know, there's a sense of upheaval with this. So also, you know, today the big thing is the full moon is it's a super moon. Again, I mentioned on my Facebook page if you want more info on it. A super moon in Taurus, so 22 degrees of Taurus. And so if you have anything at 22 degrees of a fixed sign, which is Leo, Aquarius, Taurus or Scorpio, check your own chart to see what you have there, because the full moon contacting that in your personal chart will mean something significant. Usually, you know, full moon, it's a end of a cycle, a closing off of something, but also a new beginning. And this year, you know, as we come to the end of 2017, as we get closer to the end of the year, we're finishing off a big cycle, and we are in a 9 cycle in the numerology, and then next year will be a 1. So we are definitely coming to a new time next year, and the energy is going to be a lot different to the heaviness that a lot of people have still been experiencing this year in 2016. So let's have a look at this week. I've got oh my gosh, I can't remember the name. Llewellyn, oh my goodness. I can't remember the name of the cards, I don't have the box. Anyway, I think they're the Llewellyn Tarot. If anyone recognises them, let me know, because as I said, I don't have the box, and it's quite an old deck. But they're really beautiful cards. Anyway, let's have a look and see what comes up for this week, and I might just spread them out like this. And if you would like a personal reading with me, follow the links below. I am fully booked up this week, but if you order this week, you'll probably get your reading next week or the week after. But I'll let you know personally via email once you've ordered how long. The turnaround time is usually 6 to 13 business days anyway. Okay, so where am I drawn? This one here. This one. And this one. Okay. Okay. Oh, the Magician, that came up last week. How interesting. The 10 of Pentacles, interesting. And Temperance. Wow, the Temperance card is very significant, I feel. Okay, so interesting. I used a different deck last week. I used the Mythic Tarot last week, and we had the first card was the Magician again, so that is bizarre that that's come up again. So, you know, once again, it's a focus on the self and one's skills and abilities, and one's ability to communicate and use your own skills in the world. And what I'm getting very strongly is, you know, rather than focusing so much externally with what's going on, although it's so tempting, especially with social media. You know, you see so many people updating about things going on in the world that are, you know, very sort of conflict orientated. Really, it's saying to refocus your energy on yourself and to bring the energy back to yourself, to your own life, to your own immediate circumstances, and you know what you can do on the small scale of your life, and not to underestimate that. And it's easy to get lost at the moment and preoccupied with bigger picture issues and with the world at large, but it's saying to, you know, focus on what needs to be attended to in your life right now, and that's going to make the best of your energy this week. The Ten of Pentacles is a fantastic card. It's a card of family, and it's also a card of abundance. So again, it's talking about focusing on your immediate circle, your family, you know, the abundance in your own life, the beauty and the joy in your own life, and to really focus there. It's like as you focus on the good things in your life, you know, your vibration changes. If you're constantly focusing on negative things, well, your vibration will change to reflect that, and so will, you know, your relationships will be affected by that. So, you know, it's about, if you're, you know, everyone knows people that are always negative, or always thinking the negative first, or always harping on negative news stories. You know, it can become an addiction in itself, a negative addiction. So again, we have advice here to refocus on what you're grateful for. You see the woman here, she's handing her little daughter some fruit, and there's a sense of just appreciating the simple things, and that totally relates to the full moon in Taurus this week, the super moon in Taurus. It's about, you know, Taurus always appreciates the simple things, the simple comforts, the simple joys, food, family, you know, things that just feel safe and comfortable. So it's about refocusing on what's around you right now, right at this present moment, and taking each moment at a time, and how that can help you to just reframe things. And, you know, there are no guarantees in life. You know, no one knows really what's going to happen from one day to the next. I mean, obviously astrology can help you see trends and things, and if you know about looking at transits, you can see certain things, but life is always full of surprises. But all we can do is do the best with what we have right now and make the best of each day. And so the Temperance card is really interesting. So with this card, it's talking about finding balance and not to sort of become out of balance or out of whack within your own energy field, within your own energies, within your own life. Because as I said, there is a lot of chaos in the world right now. There is a lot of craziness in the world right now. Other people's energy around you may be a bit off. So if you can remain centered and try to balance yourself, it's going to go a long way to help those around you and to help yourself to feel in control of your own emotions, of your own energy. So Temperance always advises us to not react over the top, or, you know, not to go to extremes, but to try to work with our emotions, work with what we can do to bring balance into our own life. If you're feeling burnt out, if you're feeling exhausted from, you know, social media because of a lot of the, you know, Mercury in Sagittarius and Mars in Aquarius right now, it's very mentally, can be overstimulating. So pull back your energy from social media if you have to. Take a break, do something like connect with nature. As I've said this many times, but especially this week because of the full moon in Taurus, do something simple for yourself. You know, try to relax and sort of switch your mind off if possible, or do something that makes you feel good, relaxed. You know, some healthy escapism, a movie or a book or something like that will definitely just reframe the energy for yourself personally. And that's the reading for the week, and I hope you enjoyed that. Have a good week, everyone. And as I said, if you'd like a personal reading, just follow the links to my Etsy store. Have a great week. Bye.